Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hope you had a good day yesterday. I know I did. I just watched Spider-Man No Way Home. It was really good. And now we're going to be taking a look at the markets as usual. This will be the last day of the streams until after Christmas. So hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully it's green. And we'll start off taking a look at the national debt sitting at $29,224,999 million, or sorry, $99 million, $100 million of national debt. So quite a bit. It's gone up since we last checked. Without a doubt, it's gone up. So hopefully we're going to see some green in the markets because we're going to need it, because that debt breaks down actually to $87,710 per citizen in the US. So we're going to need some extra money to pay that off at some point. And good morning to everybody in the chat. Good morning, Tim Boone, Ambition, Eric, Greg Taylor, and Rich M. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully it's going to be green today. Now, we are going to be looking at a couple of different things. We're looking at NAKD especially because NAKD just went through with the merger with Cenntro Automotive. We're also going to be taking a peek at SNDL, Sundial, as usual, DWAC. We're going to be keeping an eye on AMC, doing a little bit of buying on AMC this morning. So I'm looking forward to that. And we've got a couple of things to look at also. There are a bunch of financial insights coming out. We've got the GDP coming out, or actually that already came out, so we're going to cover that in a second. We've got consumer confidence levels coming out at 10. U.S. existing home sales coming out at 10, and U.S. crude oil inventories also coming out at 10. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've got to watch. Crypto, we're going to take a peek at that. And we are going to be talking once again about the NAKD stock merger with Cenntro Automotive. So NAKD is a big one today. A lot of people are talking about it. It is pretty high up on the StockTwits leaderboard. You can see over here, it's number 4 most active and number 1 trending. So a lot of people are probably wondering what the heck happened to their portfolios yesterday. They're looking at NAKD. A lot of people probably didn't even know that, NJ, you're right. You're right. I need the fan. Hold on. I'll be right back. There we go. At least we caught it early this time. We caught it early. Thank you, NJ, for pointing that out. Now, let's see. We've got some other people. Good morning, NJ, first of all. Good morning, Christopher Wong. And good morning, Manny C. and Heckler Kosh. Yeah, I hope Sundial does good today. I mean, we're getting pretty darn high on Sundial compared to where we have been the past couple of days. We're getting back up above 62. Hopefully we can climb above 63, maybe 64. Just continue this rally up with Sundial. So it's looking pretty darn good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It looks like we are maintaining a pretty solid trend to the upside on Sundial. So overall, I'm not too worried. I don't think Sundial's, unless we get some real bearish pressure today, I think Sundial seems to be on a pretty solid uptrend right now. So I am not too worried about Sundial. I'm happy to see it. I think that those small caps in Sundial have seen enough pain. So I think that we're ready for a rally. NAKD looks like it's hurting, and this is like what we mentioned in the stream yesterday. We mentioned that we might see this. We might see NAKD slipping a bit today as a bunch of investors wake up and potentially haven't been keeping up with NAKD news. Potentially they just had NAKD in their portfolios. They may not have been the most active investors. They may have just looked at their portfolios today, realized that they had far fewer shares of NAKD and that it was trading at a much higher price, not knowing what the heck was going on with it, and are selling it because they don't know what the heck is going on. So hopefully some people will pop into this stream and we can explain it to them so they're not too worried about it. In fact, this is actually a really good thing, and NAKD should not be falling on this news. If anything, they're becoming a much better company. I mean, they're not just a swimwear company anymore. They're a leading EV company, one of the better EV companies out there, the most electric vehicle for the most commercial electric vehicle deliveries of any company out there. So it's looking pretty good for NAKD at the moment, although you wouldn't know it from the stock price. It looks like they have just been falling in the pre-market. We'll see what happens when actual volume comes in during the trading day. Hopefully it doesn't just tank. I mean, it's possible, but I hope it doesn't. We'll see what happens, though. It's always possible that it will. Now, let's see. Tim Blackburn says, Rob, BFRI will blow up at open. BFRI. We'll pull that up. BFRI. Biofrontera. So let's see. It's it's been trending up lately. In fact, it was down at $4 less than 30 days ago. So what's going on? What's going on? Abnormally high volume, seeing increased interest on social media. Okay. Okay, so it was halted yesterday. So what's the deal with it? Is it a short squeeze? Is it just a popular meme stock? What's the deal with BFRI? Did they do something? Let me pull this up on Ortex and see if there's a bunch of short interest on them. There could be. So it looks like we don't have much short data on them. All right, so let's see what the deal with them is. BFRI, I'll pull this up. So yeah, number one short squeeze. Okay. Okay, so Biofrontera. Okay, yeah. Maybe it's gonna do good. We'll surely take a peek at this. In fact, we can pull it up and see that it is one of the more popular ones on Reddit right here. Up 5 places. It's in the top 10. Biofrontera, BFRI. 129 mentions on Reddit. So we'll see what happens with them. Maybe they're trending also. Yeah, in fact, look at this. On StockTwits, they are above NAKD. So look at that. They're above NAKD on StockTwits, most active, and below them on the top trending. So NAKD is gaining a few more mentions than BFRI, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. It could be good. We'll keep it on watch just to see if anything crazy goes on with them. But as for the GDP, the gross domestic product, we got those numbers at 8:30, and they were actually better than what we forecast. So we were forecast to get a 2.1% increase in GDP, and what we actually saw was a 2.3% increase, and that measures the annualized change in the inflation-adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy. So overall, decent numbers that we got compared to what we were expecting to get. Not too shabby, not too shabby at all. So I'm happy to see it, but we'll see if we can continue that in 2022 with the inflation that we're expected to get. So we'll see. Hopefully we do. Hippo Holdings. Morgan Stanley starts Hippo Holdings at overweight with 460 price target. Okay, HIPO. We'll take a peek. We'll see what they've got. It looks like, yeah, so 460 would be nice for whoever's holding them if they could get to 460. They've been trending down for a while. In fact, just 30 days ago, it looks like they were pretty much there. So we'll see what we can get. BFRI on some of these smaller stocks. We'll pull up BFRI right there just to see what's going on with it. It looks like it has risen quite a bit. And I will pull up. Unfortunately, on Ortex, we're really not seeing too much short data for Biofrontera. So unfortunately, there's no short interest change that Ortex has estimated, or a short interest as a percentage of the free float, or number of shorted shares. So we really don't know about Biofrontera from an Ortex perspective, but we'll see what happens with it today. Now, for NAKD stock, we'll pull up some of what we've got going on with them. We'll probably pull it up later when the market actually opens, but we'll start off with this news. Naked Brand Group Limited shareholders overwhelmingly approved the acquisition of Centro at the general meeting. So basically, this is just breaking down some of the vote that we've got. So they had a vote on December 20th, and we're going to see that 96.99% of people voted for the merger with Centro. And, you know, I was looking at this chart, and it was interesting to me because pretty much all of the things on this ballot got upwards of 90% vote, except for a couple of things at the bottom that got 70%. They were a little bit less popular. And those were benefits for some of the executives. So approval of non-executive director benefits, 74% voted for this. So far fewer than the 90% that we were seeing for all of the other things, all of the elections and all that. But this basically just improves benefits, basically, for some of the non-executive directors. And a 73% vote for approval of acceleration of CEO phantom warrants and grant of incentive awards. So basically, the two things that are just giving awards out to some of the executives got far fewer votes than a lot of the more fundamental voting things that the company was going on with. So it's interesting to see that they still got highly voted for, right? Upwards of 50%, highly upwards of 50%, 70% actually, but much lower than a lot of the other more fundamental things that people are voting for. So it's interesting to see that. Also, here we've got the news on Naked Brand. This came out at 8:10, so about an hour ago, just saying that Naked Brand is beginning trading on a 1-for-15 split after the merger with Cenntro. So interesting stuff. I mean, we already knew that, but now you've got it here from Yahoo Finance. And good morning, Silver. Welcome to the chat. It's looking like it will be an interesting day for a couple of different stocks. We've got a lot of stuff coming out. The GDP just came out. Better than expected, 2.3% instead of 2.1%. So not too bad, not too bad. Lower than what we've seen in the past, but not too bad compared to what we were expecting. And we are waiting for, at 10 o'clock, the consumer confidence numbers, the existing home sales numbers, and the crude oil inventories. So we'll see what those are when they come out. We're also going to be watching Biofrontera, BFRI. It's getting a lot of buzz on the internet. It's getting a lot of buzz on Reddit and StockTwits. And Alex Chen, good morning. Good morning. So we've got a lot to look at today. A lot of stocks are potentially going to be doing pretty good today, including AVCT, which is trending on Reddit. Now, I forget, I may have taken a look at this in Good Morning Brazil AA, but I think I took a look at this earlier this morning, and I think I saw someone in chat mentioning something about it. So AVCT. Okay, yeah. So I did look at this a little bit earlier in the morning, and it looks like it's up somewhat significantly. Let me see if the short interest on it is high. So let's see what we've got. Short interest on AVCT. Once again, you know what? It might be Ortex that's messing up. Hold on. Let me see if we've got any interest for Sundial. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's not Ortex. It's just some of these smaller cap stocks, I guess, aren't quite liking Ortex right now. Ortex isn't quite liking them. So yeah, we just looked at the shorts on Sundial. I'll take a peek at. I'll show you guys in half a second. There you go, auto codes. We'll pull that up. But the shorts on Sundial, it looks like we've had a small increase on the day, but towards the end of yesterday, it looks like some of them got out because now we're down to 338 million shorts, and that was in the 340 millions yesterday when we were last looking. So 16.5% of the free float, but we are increasing a little bit today, it looks like, in the pre-market. So there you go. It looks like Sundial shorts are slightly increasing today, but yesterday it looks like they decreased a decent amount. So good to see. Good to see that there are fewer shorts in today than yesterday. And of course, we've got a lot of. I just got a ton of notifications on my phone about options expiring next month. I guess it is the 22nd, so January 21st is when a bunch of options expire. Fortunately, they're options mostly that I've sold, so I will be collecting premiums for those. And good morning, Shadow333. What's up? What's up? And George Bronson, BVXY. BVXY. We'll see what it's not. That's not a symbol, unfortunately. Maybe you meant BFRI. It sounds kind of similar. We'll continue looking at that. BFRI, doing decently in the pre-market, right? We're above where we closed, just barely. And we have moved up in the pre-market. After hours weren't as kind, but we'll see what happens with BFRI. I know a lot of people are probably excited about this. It's been a while since we've had a real chance at a short squeeze. Since PROG started doing not as good. It's been a while, but it looks like this has been a sleeping giant, just slowly creeping up. So we'll continue taking a peek at BFRI. And of course, NAKD we're going to have on watch. I'm very curious to see what will happen during the first couple of minutes of the market. It could be either a bloodbath or very green. It really depends. I mean, Centro Automotive, I think, has a bright future ahead of it. However, a lot of investors, as I was saying earlier and in yesterday's stream, are probably somewhat confused about NAKD, right? They're probably watching NAKD potentially for the first time in a while, right? A lot of people may be looking at it just because they noticed that they have far fewer shares of NAKD, and they may be looking at the inflated price that they aren't used to, right? They were used to having, maybe thousands of shares of this penny stock, and now they have potentially just a couple hundred shares of this stock now trading above $5, and they're not used to that. So they're probably looking at it, and potentially that's where some of this selling pressure is coming from, right? We opened up above $7.50. We opened up at $7.75, it looks like. That was the first bar that we traded on. And then we just started dipping down, and now we're down around $5.92. So I think a lot of people are probably somewhat confused about NAKD, and some people are probably selling in the pre-market. We're going to see if people continue selling when the actual trading day begins. But that's my suspicion. I think a lot of people were just unaware of this merger going through with Centro Automotive. Some people have probably been holding NAKD. If you look back at the past year, we're probably holding it since the big rally around January, February. Maybe some people were buying in since then. There was also a lot of gyration that NAKD was going through. And in fact, we can get rid of these drawings because they no longer really apply to the chart. The chart's about to move way up now that they've done that split. But a lot of people are probably confused about what's going on with NAKD because they were potentially just buying the swimwear brand and, NAKD's original business, which really doesn't have much of an impact on them anymore, right? I expect I don't know if they'll let go of it, if they'll sell their swimwear brand, maybe they'll hold on to it for a bit, but it doesn't make too much sense to have a clothing brand and an EV company under one roof, right? There probably aren't too many synergies for them, so they'll probably have to let the clothing brand go. They'll just collect some capital for it, is my guess. I mean, maybe someone will want to buy that. It seems like a business that someone could run if they wished. Maybe another clothing company might get it on the cheap. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with them. But I'm a lot more excited about their EV company because they have some impressive statistics under their belt. And good morning, Antics, the legend, and Muhammad Ilman. And Andrew, good morning. Good morning. So we're going to pull up some of the statistics that Naked Brand has going for them. Or rather, that they're not Naked Brand anymore, actually. They're Centro Automotive. So that's the actual name of the company. In fact, I think you can't. They haven't updated it yet. So up here, next to the ticker symbol, it still says Naked Brand Group. It should say Centro Automotive because that is the official name of this company now, though they will still be trading as NAKD. So they'll still be trading as NAKD, but they are now publicly known as Centro Automotive or Centro Group, I think it is. Let's see. We actually have it here. Where is it? What's it called? So the company is expected. Okay, the company is expected to change its name to Centro Automotive Group, CAG. Though they won't be changing the ticker symbol to CAG. In fact, what did I do here? All right. So they won't be changing the ticker symbol to CAG because CAG. If you pull up CAG, it's another company. It's Conagra Brands. So they can't get CAG for Centro Automotive Group, but NAKD will work in the meantime. Hopefully they'll change it at some point. Now let's see. Carla and Maggie says, good morning, Rob and everyone. Can you check BVXV? We'll take a peek. BVXV. Okay, so this one, it looks like pumped up quite a bit. And it's Vax Pharmaceuticals. So probably, let's see what happened. The shares skyrocket after it plans to license nano-sized COVID-19 antibodies. Okay, so it signed a definitive agreement for the development and commercialization of nano-sized COVID-19 antibody therapy with Max Planck Society and the University of Medical Center in Göttingen. All right. So interesting. So they're probably going to be doing decently today. It looks like they're up on pretty big volume. It's tough to say with these kind of pharmaceutical plays how long they'll run. You just have to watch out. I mean, inevitably, typically what happens with these at least is you see them run up a little bit higher than they should. They end up getting to fairly high heights. And then they end up dipping a bit. They always inevitably are valued a little bit more than where they were because it is a good fundamental change in their company, getting these things approved and signing these agreements. So we'll see where this one goes. I mean, it could go much, much higher than this, or this could be the peak, and as the market opens, it could stop. But I will say that back in January, all these small caps were doing incredibly well in January. So we'll see. This could be potentially another rally for a lot of these small caps that continues up throughout 2022, or at least throughout the beginning of 2022, similar to what we saw at the beginning of 2021. I would not be surprised as we get a little bit into 2022. A lot of the large caps like Microsoft, Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon have been doing pretty good throughout 2021. It wouldn't surprise me to see, as soon as 2022 starts, we could see a lot of selling for those large cap stocks. We've also seen towards the end of this year a lot of selling of the small cap stocks. We've seen people selling for tax loss harvesting purposes. Now, people probably don't want to sell their large caps that are up a ton towards the end of this year, because then they have to pay taxes on them pretty much instantly, right? Why would they sell them now when they could sell them in a week or two and not have to pay taxes for an entire year on them? Why would they sell them right now? So we might actually see, as we get into 2022, a bit of selling for some of the larger cap stocks. It would not surprise me to see that. And then the smaller cap stocks, maybe we'll see a little bit of a rotation into those. It would not surprise me at all. In fact, I would almost expect to see a little bit of that, right? That's what I did actually towards the beginning of this year. I sold a lot of the stocks. They weren't necessarily large cap stocks, but I sold a lot of stocks that I was up big on because I wanted to collect some profits, and they were up big towards the beginning of the year. So unfortunately, pretty soon I'll be getting the tax bill for those, but I sold them about a year ago and had a year to play with the money before having to pay taxes. So we'll see. We'll see if people do that again, right? That is potentially something that happened with these small caps, right? We saw small caps running towards the end of 2020 and in 2021. We saw those happening we saw those running in the beginning, and then people started selling them. Then we saw large caps moving up. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see the opposite happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Good morning, Maria G. And AutoCodes asks, what's my prediction on Sundial price-wise? Well, we've got to get Sundial. At least the management knows that Sundial needs to get to $1 by February 7th, I believe it is. So we have a ways to go. We are on this little uptrend right here, this beautiful little uptrend. Hopefully we will continue that all the way to $1, because $1 is, I will admit, fairly far away. And we really don't have too much time to get there. So we've got to move up pretty darn quickly. Granted, they have a share buyback in their pocket of $100 million that they can do at any time they wish. So we've got that. We've got the fact that people are finally ending this tax loss harvesting in just a couple of days. Just, I think, 8 or 9 more days of December are left for people to tax loss harvest on Sundial with. And then, like I said, I think a lot of the large caps could potentially see a little bit of selling. People might want to collect profits in early January. Maybe we'll see some movement into Sundial. So I would say, it's not a guarantee that we're going to get above $1 by February 7th, right? We could always see them do a reverse split to meet compliance, but I would say we're probably getting above $1 by then. They've never failed to do it before. So we'll see what happens with it, but I would expect to see Sundial above $1. That's my guess, but we'll see. We'll see, especially because we've got the Alcana merger going through January 7th, or at least the vote for it is January 7th. So there are a couple of catalysts that could potentially be moving Sundial up. Obviously, nothing's a guarantee in the stock market. You never know for sure, but that's what I would expect to see. And let me just put a quick poll in the chat real quick. Let me create a quick poll, and I'll point out, guys, we've got 83 viewers, 40 likes. You guys know what to do. We're trying to get to 50 likes right now. Let's see if we can do that while I put in this poll. Let's ask for a couple of these. We'll do Sundial. We're asking the top performing stock of 2022. We'll do Sundial, DWAC. We'll do NAKD and AMC. So there we go. We'll see what people are most bullish on. That poll should pop up any second now. So any second you guys should be seeing that poll, and feel free to vote in it. We're curious what you guys think will be the top performing stock of 2022. Sundial, DWAC, NAKD, and AMC. So we're going to see what happens with that. And in just 5 minutes, we're going to see the market open. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with NAKD. I think over the long term, I'm not worried about NAKD. I think that this merger with Centro is a really good move for them, and is a really good move for is a really good move for Centro as well. Centro is actually going to be getting a decent amount of cash from this. Centro, I'll go over some of the Centro statistics for you. Centro, for those of you who don't know about NAKD and Centro, NAKD is the stock we've got in the top left. They just merged with Centro Automotive, which is a leading EV company, a leading commercial EV company. And Sam asks, hi, new to the stream. My cost average with NAKD is 94 cents, so with the new price, would have to hit 14.25 to break even with the reverse split. That's right. I think so. As long as you 15x'd 94 cents. 15 times 94 should get you what you need. So there you go. But Centro Automotive, early pioneer in artificial intelligence and autonomous driving. The most impressive statistic I think they've got under their belt is that they've sold and delivered more commercial electric vehicles than any other EV company. And less impressive, but still impressive, is that customers are estimated to have traveled more than 20 million miles in 26 countries in Centro EVs. So what I really like is that they're the leader of commercial EVs, right? When you need a commercial EV, it seems like you go with Centro, right? They've delivered more than any other EV company out there. They expect 2021 revenue of 25 million, and we're going to start seeing some of these numbers in their first earnings call when that happens. And Jason, good morning. Good morning, Jason. So they're expecting this year, the revenue growth that we're expecting from Centro is very impressive. They're expecting to get 25 million in 2021. In 2022, they're expecting 506 million. So about 20 times the revenue, 20x revenue growth from 2021 to 2022. And then in 2023, they're expecting 2.1 billion in revenue. So once again, massive revenue growth. So they're expecting, going from 2021 to 2022, they're expecting 20 times revenue growth. And then they're expecting 4 times revenue growth the year after that. So we're looking at potentially really great growth in Centro over the next couple of years. I'm very excited for Centro Automotive. I think it's a great thing that they've been taken public so early when their revenues are as low as 25 million. That's really cool. I think that EVs are definitely going to be a growing industry. I don't think they'll have too much trouble hitting these numbers, especially since this is what they're projecting now, especially since they are the leader in commercial EVs, that they've sold and delivered more EVs, more commercial EVs than any other company. I think that a lot of people are probably going with them. In fact, Japan has recently ordered 2,000 EVs from them, so they're already well on their way to meeting these goals. I mean, Japan just ordered 2,000 EVs. We can pull that up probably. Let me pull that up real quick. Let's see, we got to get back. So let me pull that up for you guys real quick. But Japan just ordered 2,000 EVs, which is more than they delivered in 2021. So cool stuff for Centro. Hold up. We gotta scroll down a little bit, but they're doing pretty darn good from the look of it. All right, of course that messed us up, but NAKD, all right. So we'll see. We're about to see the market open. In just 2 minutes, we're going to see what happens with Naked Brand. Well, not Naked Brand anymore, but NAKD stock as they entered their first day of trading. So here we go. Here's the news on NAKD. It looks like just recently, we covered this when it happened on November 29th, we got this story coming out. Centro receives order for 2,000 Metro electric commercial vehicles in Japan, and end customers of this actually include Amazon. So Amazon is going to be getting some Centro EVs come 2022 when these start getting delivered. But let me pull up the, here's what they've got. So in 2021, they are going to be getting, they're expected to get 25 million of revenue with over 1,500 vehicle sales. But look at this. Just towards the end of this year, they got 2,000 vehicle sales. So, or 2,000 vehicle orders for vehicles for Japan, and end customers include Amazon. So they're already on a great start for 2022. Those probably won't end up going through until 2022. I doubt they could produce more than double what they already produced this entire year just instantly. But if they're ramping up production, then I think they shouldn't have too many hitches with their plan for 21,500 vehicle sales in 2022. So they're well on their way. The year hasn't even started yet, and they're already doing pretty darn good. So I'm excited to see it. Now, NAKD, let's see what they're doing the first couple of minutes of the day. Sundial's getting a little hurt, unfortunately. BVXY, where we can, what was the other one? BFRI? I think that was the one. BRFI, maybe. No, I forget what it was. But there was something. BRTX, that's it. BRTX. So we just wanted to keep an eye on this. It's a potential short squeeze. AMC moving down a little bit. Let me buy 10 shares of AMC to go along with it. This is good. Anything below 30 is looking better and better. The longer it stays below 30, the better. So, you know, in fact, I'd really like it to get below 25, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so where's the camera? We got to pull the camera up real quick just so we can buy the 10 shares of AMC to start the stream off. There we go. We've got an order for 10 shares of AMC. Swiping up on that. There we go. We've got, once this goes through, 10 more shares of AMC. So there we go. We're at, what is that, 40 shares now? I think we're at 40. Yeah, we're at 40 shares of AMC and an average cost below 30 bucks. So good to see on that. And NAKD, it looks like, you know, it's comical sometimes when they don't update the stock's information because it says NAKD is up 1,134%, but it's not really. It's because of the merger. It's because they 15x'd the price, but decreased the number of shares by 15x also. So a lot of people are potentially popping in here wondering what the heck is going on with NAKD. For those of you who didn't know, there's a merger with Cenntro Automotive, a really good EV company. We've been covering them on the channel for a bit, so if you wanted some information, you could probably just search Rob Almazy, NAKD, and that would give you a quick 10-minute rundown of what the merger is basically all about. We'll be covering it here a bit. In fact, I did want to pull up this vote again. For those of you who weren't seeing it the first time, just the vote that happened on December 20th, where Naked Brand Group decided, their shareholders voted overwhelmingly to acquire Centro at their general meeting. So we have the results of the vote right here. In fact, when they were voting to acquire Centro, 96.99% of voters voted yes to acquire Centro Automotive. People have a lot of faith in Centro, and for good reason. It's a good company, in my opinion. I'm happy to be a shareholder of it, even though we are dipping a bit on the day. It looks like we're starting to recover some, so that's good to see. But you know what's comical about this vote almost is that pretty much everything was voted in the high 90s, right? We got 96.99% voting for the Centro merger, and interestingly enough, a higher percentage of people approved the change in company name. 97.78% approved the company name change to Centro. So it looks like some people wanted to change the company name and didn't even want to merge with Centro Automotive. They just wanted to change Naked brand name to Centro without merging with Centro. It's interesting to see that about, 0.79% of people wanted to just change the name of the company and not actually merge with Centro Automotive. So that's interesting to see. They voted 96% to amend their constitution, and then they voted not in the high 90 percentiles to elect a bunch of board members. And they also, 90% of people approved the share consolidation. So the 15 for 1 consolidation that we saw, that's why NAKD is now trading at $6 instead of down at 42 cents or 50 cents or whatever it was. And 74 and 73% of people voted to approve non-executive director benefits. So basically, people were not too keen, not nearly as keen as they were on the other points, of giving the directors of the company additional benefits and increasing incentive awards for the CEO, and also granting the CEO phantom warrants. So far fewer people were in favor of that, but what can you expect? It passed anyways. That obviously went through with the vote. So it's all right. You know, maybe they deserve it. And 8-Bolt Racing. Good morning, Rob. The majority of my portfolio is in Sundial, but I'm hopeful for both that and NAKD this coming year. As am I. And Silver says, would love to see you hit 9K by New Year's, 10K by January. Hit those likes and subscribes, bell up. I would appreciate it. I appreciate that too, Silver. We'll see if we can do it. We're a ways away from that, unfortunately. And Falls Exile, been watching your vids for a while, just subbed. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And Jared Grouden says, good morning, Rob. NAKD merger looks good in my opinion. I think so. It looks like we're finally, now that we're getting some real volume on NAKD, starting to move up on this news. People are starting to realize that they've done some research into it now, instead of just seeing that they have far fewer shares of NAKD that they had yesterday. That was my suspicion, that we might see a bit of a dip initially, as some people who just didn't know about the merger were potentially looking at NAKD, realizing that their portfolios had far fewer shares of it and that it was trading at a much higher price. They were confused, and they might just be selling in the pre-market. They might not know what's going on. We'll see. Maybe some of that will pop up today as some people begin looking at their portfolios later on. But it is my suspicion that over the long term, NAKD will be doing pretty darn good. I think they'll be moving up over the course of 2022. They're a really good electric vehicle company now that they've merged with Cenntro Automotive. So I'm excited for them. I think that we're probably going to see good numbers from them in 2022 based off of everything that we've heard. They should be doing really well and growing their revenues massively. So it's exciting stuff. Now let me actually pull up. Let me just see if Yahoo Finance has updated their market cap. I'm curious. We'll see if we've gotten an updated market cap for NAKD. So let's see. So look at that. Yeah, we have updated their market cap. 5.91 billion is their new market cap. So look at that. Is that their actual market cap? I'm not so sure. It may. Let's see. That might be their market cap. I don't know if it's accurate. I think it is, though. We'll see. We'll see. But it looks like people are having a heyday with NAKD. It's just shooting up from what we've seen so far. And Sam says, what do you know about NAKD needing to stay above $5 for a certain period of time? I haven't heard of that, Sam, so I'm not sure. And its code name Jeremy says, I had 910 shares, now I only have 60. Why? So NAKD, I'll pull up the news on why you only have 60 shares, but they approved a share consolidation. So a 1-for-15 split, reverse split. They're basically consolidating 15 shares into 1 share. So for every 15 shares you had, you're going to only have 1 share now. So that's also why the price of the stock 15x'd. So you kept the same amount of capital. Basically, whatever NAKD was trading at right before that merger and shares went through, they 15x'd the price, but decreased the share count by 15x. So that's why you think, or that's why you have so many more shares. So fewer shares now. So many fewer shares, but the price is much higher now. So that's what was going on with that. And that was approved. That was approved at the vote that they had when they were voting to go through with the company. 90% of voters voted yes to this. And they did it. They can now maintain their compliance to remain listed on the NASDAQ, right? Because penny stocks, stuff that's below $1, can't remain listed on the NASDAQ for after a couple of months of sitting below $1. So they had to get above $1 one way or another. And they did want to make their share count, not just their share count, but their share price look a little bit more legitimate. Now that they are a more legitimate company, they're not as memey of a stock. They're now an EV company, a leading EV company at that. And they wanted to make their share price reflect that fact. They don't want to be trading as a little penny stock anymore. Now they're $6, so they've got some room to grow, I will say. So they could be doing pretty good in the future. It would not surprise me to see them rising quite a bit in the next couple of months as we continue to get out more numbers for them, because the numbers that we have projected for 2021 are pretty darn impressive. If you look at it right now, 2021 revenues are expected to be $25 million. 2022 revenues are expected to be $500 million. So a 20x increase, a 2,000% increase in revenue is what we're expecting from NAKD at this point. And then in 2023, we're expecting $2.1 billion. So a 4x or 400% growth in revenue year over year. So it's looking pretty darn good for them as long as they can maintain those numbers. And something tells me they'll be able to. If you look, they've already, and I know we talked about this already, but I'll cover it again. They've already gotten a vehicle delivery order to Japan for 2,000 EVs, and that happened in November. So November 29th is when we got that. And some of those vehicles are going to Amazon. So we'll see if Amazon likes what they get in Japan from Centro and potentially decides to order some here. They have Centro, the company that NAKD merged with, is, I will pull this up, Cenntro, the company that NAKD merged with, has sold and delivered more commercial electric vehicles than any other EV company. So they're a pretty impressive one. Just for those of you guys, I know I've said that a couple of times, but some new people might be popping into the stream. Just in case anyone was curious, we'll be covering NAKD in the future, surely. So feel free, anyone who likes NAKD, to subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 9,000 subscribers. We're getting close. We're only about 500 away. And in fact, I will give you guys a little incentive right here. You guys can see, if you wish, you can see the live count right here of the subscribers on the channel. We're at 8,568. If anyone wants to hit the subscribe button right now, they can see this number go up live. It will increase live. If anyone wants to hit it, I'll leave it up for just a second so you guys have the chance. We can potentially get 2 more, get up to 8,570. Maybe we can do it. There we go. So someone just did it. You just got to see it rise live. How about that? And now we're up. Now we're up to 8,570. Thank you, guys. There you go. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. So impressive. Thank you very much for subscribing. And SmackDat Ask says, hey, could we see the short interest numbers on Sundial? Yeah, we'll definitely take a peek at the Sundial short interest on Ortex. Here we go. So we're seeing a slight increase today, but overall, it's actually lower than what we were looking at the same time on yesterday. So yesterday's stream, we had about 340-something million shares short. Now we actually have 338 million. So yesterday, towards the end of the day, we must have saw some shorts exiting Sundial, because now we're at 338 million shares short, but we are seeing a slight increase since the day began. So we're up 0.37% on the day. We're at 16.5% of the free float being short. So overall, it looks like some shorts are leaving Sundial. So that's all in all a good thing. And Jared Grouden says, do you see Sundial doing a similar movement next year if the stock stays under $1? You mean a similar movement to what? To just continuing to trend up? I think we'll probably continue to trend up. I see us getting probably above $1 by February. I think that we could probably do it. They have the buyback still in their back pocket. I think they're waiting on that until we're a little bit closer, and I think they're going to use it to push Sundial above $1 and keep it there. I think that's probably their strategy. I think they want to keep Sundial above $1 for at least 10 days so they can maintain compliance, and then they don't have to do a reverse split like NAKD just did. So I think that's what we're going to see from Sundial. I would expect it to be doing pretty good in 2022. I think that we're probably going to see legalization for Sundial, and I mean, obviously that would benefit all cannabis stocks, but I think Sundial is going to be benefiting come 2022. So we'll see what we've got with that, and I just got rid of the chart there. Here we go. We'll zoom back into the 1 day on Sundial. Not too much is going on. It looks like they just dipped a little bit on the first bar and then have been pretty stagnant. So we'll see. And Sam says there's 116 people watching the stream and about 70 likes. And he wants people to hit that like button. We've got 120 viewers now. Maybe we can get it up to 85 likes. We've got 75 at the moment. We only need 10 people to hit the like button, and we could potentially get it up to 85, and that would be much appreciated, guys. If anyone wants to hit the like button on the stream to help it get out to a couple more people, to help explain to some more people who are potentially confused about NAKD, what the heck is going on with it? I know some people were probably selling in the pre-market when they noticed that they had far fewer shares than they had the day prior, and that the price was a lot higher. They might not have heard about the merger. They might be confused. And ideally, we could get some of those people in here and explain to them what the heck just went on with NAKD. We could explain about the merger and what's going on with it. But overall, it seems like a pretty bullish thing for their company now that they're merging with Centro. I'm very excited for them over the long term. Obviously, in the short term, we could, because of what I was just saying, because some people are probably confused about this stock, and potentially some less active investors are potentially confused about this stock, we may see some of them selling, when something weird goes on, and all of a sudden the company has a different name, they're trading at a much different price, you have far fewer shares, you might get spooked out. So we'll see what happens with NAKD over the next couple of hours and days. Potentially, it could be a little bearish. We could see some people selling just out of confusion. Ideally, we won't see too much of that, because I think that anyone who's selling on this news is actually making a bit of a mistake. And obviously, none of this is financial advice. I'm not recommending that anyone make any buying or selling decisions based off of what I'm saying. Obviously, if you're going to sell whatever stock, it's your choice. But I think that we've got a pretty bright future on NAKD now that they've merged with Centro. So I'm excited for the next couple of months with Centro as we start to see some of those earnings calls coming through. I expect they'll probably be pretty good as we get on. We'll probably be seeing a lot of revenue growth as we get on our way to seeing a lot more vehicle sales. I mean, in fact, I will point out that they were expected to have 1,500 vehicle sales in 2021. And that story that I pulled up a moment earlier about the 2,000 orders they got from Japan already dwarfs what they did in all of 2021. So it's pretty impressive stuff. I don't know if those will be counted as vehicle sales in 2021. They might push those off as sales technically until after they deliver. So they probably won't start counting those as actual sales until 2022. They don't want to pay taxes on that this year, obviously. So we'll see what they end up doing with that. But hopefully they start showing really good earnings numbers. That's what I'm hoping for. And Maria says, I wish I could give you 1 million likes. I wish you could too, Maria. That would be much appreciated. That would be really cool. And Big Spark is praising me once again praising me for no apparent reason. So let's pull up some of the economic data we've got coming out. We have a couple of things that happened today. One, we've got the GDP. And Abstract is here. We will definitely be taking a look at crypto in just a second. But we've got the GDP. We actually had better than expected GDP numbers. The forecast was for 2.1% increase in GDP, and we got a 2.3% increase in GDP, so slightly better than what we were expecting. And in 13 minutes, we're going to get 3 relatively important economic indicators coming out. At 10 o'clock, we're going to have the consumer confidence numbers coming out. We're going to have existing home sales coming out. So we're going to see potentially some indication of what's going to happen with housing prices. And we're also going to see crude oil inventories coming out at 10. So all 3 of those things happening at 10 o'clock in just 13 minutes. We're going to cover it live right after we take a peek at cryptos, which for the most part, some of the larger cryptos are fairly stagnant, but some of them are up. So Bitcoin is pretty stagnant. It's down 0.2%, so basically nothing. It's essentially just sitting where it was around the same time yesterday. So at $48,700 for Bitcoin, just barely below 50,000. Ethereum, a similar situation, down about 1%, just barely below 4,000, 3,970 on Ethereum. Binance Coin, I really don't care much about Binance Coin, but it's up 1.4%, up above 500. All right, that's fine. Solana up 3%, Cardano up 7%, Ripple up 6%, almost above $1 on Ripple. We're getting close. We're at 94 cents. Terra Luna up 8% to $92. Interesting coins we're about to talk about. Dogecoin up 2%. Not much going on with it. It's still just sitting around 17 cents. And we've also got Shiba Inu, the recent meme coin favorite, I suppose you could say. A lot of people were hoping Shiba Inu would be doing well, and it looks like those people are being rewarded. If you were holding Shiba Inu over the past 24 hours, you're up 13%. So good job, whoever was holding Shiba Inu. It's up to $0.00003631. So it's getting close. It's getting close to that 1 cent mark. We only need it to maybe 50 or 100x or something like that until it gets to 1 cent. So people are expecting it. We'll see if it happens. I mean, we need a lot of coin burning to go on. But over the past day, we're up 13%, so not bad. Overall, it's looking like we may actually be ending this little downtrend that we've been in ever since we got below $0.00003. We started moving back up. So we'll see if that continues itself. It looks like we've seen slightly larger rallies on Shiba Inu in the past. But this one could be the one. It could be the one that gets us moving back up. It would not surprise me to see. I know people are sick of Shiba Inu moving down. It definitely has a big community behind it. And Abstract has been holding Shiba Inu since May, so he's surely up real big on that investment since May. In fact, let's look at where Shiba Inu was in May. Maybe I was holding it back. I don't think I was holding it back in May. But let's see where Shiba Inu was way back then. Over the past year, January, February, March, April, May. So since 5. Okay, so I see it had a pop way back when to similar prices to where it is now. If you bought in late May though, it was real cheap. It was real cheap if you bought in late May. So there you go. I think actually I may have bought some coins in May also. No, I think I bought over here. Maybe I don't know what I did with shiba. Maybe I bought in May also. I might have. And Whirls had just got SHIB last night, so you're up then. Nice, nice, nice. And Tim Poon is down on his SHIB position, so that's okay. You know, a lot of people are probably down on their SHIB position. There was a ton of volume. There's a ton of volume way back when, so a lot of people were buying when it was near the highs. So Liam Riley asks, where can you see NAKD prices going in the next 12 months realistically, now holding 530 shares? So realistically, if we're being real about NAKD, I think a lot of it will depend on their earnings calls. I think real institutional investors are going to want to see, now that there's a new EV company out there, they're going to want to see some numbers. So the first earnings call is probably going to be very important for determining their worth as a company. And let's pull up their market cap on Yahoo Finance. Let's pull up their market cap. Last we checked, it was 6 billion, or now it's 5.84 billion. So they're already trading around a $6 billion market cap. Now, that's because they're a very promising EV company. And they've got a decent amount of cash on their balance sheet. I believe 284 million of cash. But they expect massive growth in the future. So they're already trading at a fairly high forward-looking PE, which I don't believe. Well, we'll see at their first earnings call if they're profitable. My guess is they won't be profitable for the first couple of earnings calls because they are focusing on growth and they are growing at a monumental rate. I mean, they're expecting 20 times growth in revenue from 2021 to 2022. So they're growing massively. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they're already trading at a decent market cap, but I could see it potentially going up quite a bit, especially if small caps start running again. Especially if we get another EV rally. There is always a lot of EV hype, it seems. Over the past year, there's been a lot of EV hype. It wouldn't surprise me to see them potentially getting above $10 per share, maybe up to $12 per share. We could see it double in 2022 if we have those really good earnings calls. A lot of EV companies do tend to trade at very high forward PEs. Tesla, notably, is one of them. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, this is no Tesla. Right? This doesn't have Elon Musk working on it, but they do have massive revenue growth ahead of them, at least if their projections are accurate. I could see them potentially doubling, becoming a $12 billion market cap company. It's not unheard of, especially considering that they have more commercial electric EV deliveries than any other company. We've seen some really big EV companies trade at very high valuation. So I could see them doubling potentially in 2022 or more, right? Obviously, off of hype. Anything can happen. If they start getting hyped up and people start talking about this being the hugest commercial EV company out there, we could see this going pretty darn high. It would not surprise me. I mean, that's happened with other companies like Lucid and Rivian. They've run up massively. Now, would those gains be sustained for a long period of time? Probably not, but we could see them getting above 12, certainly. I think 12 could be a more fair valuation for them by the end of 2022 if they meet their revenue growth expectations. But obviously, they could go higher than that. It's not out of the question for them to go higher than 12. Obviously, if they start missing on earnings calls, if they end up not getting as many vehicle deliveries as they were expecting, then we could see a decline in price. That's always possible too. You have to be realistic about it. You could see a decline in price if they don't meet with their expectations because their expectations are absolutely incredible. They're monumental expectations. They're expecting 20x growth in deliveries. We've been disappointed with EV companies before. Tesla took a long time to get it right, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Centro taking a while. Obviously, they're fairly accomplished as a company. They've already got a bunch of vehicle deliveries under their belt, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with them. I expect good things in the future. It looks like they're dipping just a little bit right now over the past little bit, but Sundial is green. Sundial's moving up. We're almost to 63 cents per share of Sundial. It looks like we just touched it for a second right here. Hopefully it'll be moving up past 63, continuing this uptrend. That's what I'm hoping for. It looks like we're about to make new highs. If we can get past 63.38 cents, then we'll be making new highs on this uptrend. So that's what I'm looking for on Sundial. I would love to see this uptrend continue. And JB 69 cents still isn't bad in my opinion. We only went to 50s because of market FUD. And I believe that's talking about Sundial. I think, yeah, no. I think Sundial is due to go much higher. I think we could get up to $1 fairly soon. It would not surprise me to see us up to $1 with Sundial stock. Because they need to meet compliance. And Feliz, or Falls Exile, thank you for the super chat, much appreciated. He says, 275 $1 Sundial calls expiring March 18th. What do you think and where do you see the ceiling? So we'll take a peek at the Sundial options just to see what kind of premium they're going for. So March 18th, $1 call options. Not bad, 6 to 7 cents per share is what you're paying for those call options. And you do have some time past February, right? So hopefully, even if Sundial gets a little bit of an extension on the time that they've got to meet compliance, I think Sundial is going to be looking pretty good. You know, I'd be surprised to see us just hit $1 exactly. I will say in the past that we have done that. If you look back over the past 180 days, we'll pull up the last time they met compliance. They actually went up to $1.50 the last time. I think you could be making big money. You could be making big money on it. Obviously, it's a risky position. You never know what's going to happen for sure. We don't know for sure that Sundial is going to meet compliance in the way we're expecting. They obviously could do a reverse split if they really need to. Never doubt the shorts. I mean, the shorts are big on Sundial. They're really trying to push Sundial down. They obviously still have very large positions in Sundial, about 350, maybe 340 million shares at the moment, close to it. So shorts definitely have a vested interest in keeping Sundial down. So there's no guarantee that we're going to see it get above $1. But I really think that we probably will. I'm holding a bunch of Sundial at the moment. I'm expecting us to go above $1, and I would not even be selling at $1. I'd be selling sometime during the peak of legalization. I'd be selling some of the shares. Some of the other shares I'd probably be selling call options on, and some of them I'd just be holding because I expect them to do well over the long term if we see legalization. So the call options, I will admit, are a risky play, right? Because you're hoping that Sundial goes above $1 by March 18th, and not just goes above $1, but goes above $1.06. And that's to break even. So if Sundial just goes to $1.10, then you'd actually have been better off just buying the Sundial shares. You'd have been better off buying the Sundial shares when they were near 50 cents. But just barely. I mean, this is going to scale up quickly. So if we get up to, $1.20, you're going to have like 3x your money on this trade. So that's pretty good. You definitely have a lot of upside potential. And honestly, there's never been more compelling time to be buying up these really cheap Sundial options. I will say, options are very risky. I'm not in Sundial options right now. I'm not buying them up. I still think options are pretty darn risky because you never know what's going to happen with the stock. I don't know for a fact, but I have a very high conviction that eventually Sundial will be up big. I can't say for sure it's going to be by March 18th, so that's why I'm holding the shares instead of trying to play the options. I've been burnt by options before, so I'm a little bit less inclined to be in options, but I do think Sundial will probably be doing pretty good in 2022, probably early on in the year, but you never know. The Fed is going to start tapering. They're going to start raising interest rates. You never know if that's going to end up hurting a lot of these smaller cap stocks. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's not a guarantee that they're going to do well. It's just a mighty strong suspicion that I've got. But I think that will probably pay off. If I had to guess, it would pay off. But the options are just a little too close to gambling. They're a little too close to gambling for my liking. It might make sense to have some options, obviously. And it looks like you got 275 of them. So let's actually see. That's not an insane amount of money to be risking on the options. Honestly, it could go up quite a bit. So 275 times point. So yeah, it's about $2,000 in those options. So yeah, no, that makes sense. Falls. I think that makes sense. Obviously not financial advice. I'm not saying to buy or sell any more options. It's up to you, man. But you could make some good money on it. It's looking like we're in a pretty solid uptrend at the moment. I'm hopeful for Sundial. I think we're going to be doing pretty good. I'm also hopeful for NAKD or Cenntro. So we are starting to move down a little bit. I think that as we were potentially talking about yesterday, some people might be waking up. Some of the potentially more lazy investors, some of the less active investors are waking up. They're looking at their portfolios right after the market open. They're noticing, what the heck happened to my NAKD shares? Why do I have so many fewer of them? Why is the stock trading for a much higher price? Why is it called Centro now? What the heck is going on? And they might be selling some of their stock because of it. And obviously, not all of this is retail. Obviously, institutions are making moves. They make up a lot of the volume. I'm not trying to say that retail is trading 60,000, 40,000, 20,000 shares every minute, 100,000 shares a minute. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with them. But I think that we might see a little bit more of a dip. We could see Sundial continue, or sorry, not Sundial, NAKD, we could see continue to dip down just a touch as more of these investors start waking up, just adding some bearish pressure to it, not realizing what the heck has gone on with the merger. We could see that kind of stuff going on. And Silver's asking about metal price. We're talking about silver and gold. It looks like silver and gold are up on the day. Gold up about 0.2%, silver up 0.55% as the dollar is down. So we'll see what happens as the day continues. It looks like the dollar might have some bearish pressure ahead for it. But silver and gold are up, so I'm excited to see it. I'm hoping that we keep moving up on those, and it looks like Sundial is about to break out above that high over the past 5 days, past 10 days, I think. It's looking like we're continuing this uptrend as long as we get up above 0.6338. It looks like we're almost there. We're very close to making the highs of the past 10 days and just continuing this uptrend, which I'm excited to see. And, oh, there we go. Metal, or not metals. The reports just came out that we were waiting for. So I forgot that it was 10, but we covered GDP. So GDP is up. We already know that. Consumer confidence numbers. We were, let's see, forecast. Let's refresh this, make sure we're getting the most up-to-date data. So, okay, we were forecast to get consumer confidence of 110. We actually have stronger than expected consumer confidence of 115.8. So good stuff. It's higher than it's been the past couple of weeks or months. So that's good to see. And look at that. It's not as high as it was way back in June and July, but it's higher than it's been the past couple of months. So consumer confidence higher than expected. That's surely good for the markets. I think people are potentially expecting a Christmas rally, and looking at the S&P, we'll pull it up over here for a second. It's looking like we're getting some of that, so good stuff. We've also got existing home sales that just came out. So existing home sales, we were forecast to get 6.52 million home sales, and we actually got slightly lower, but basically it's almost spot on with the expectation, 6.46 million. So slightly fewer homes were sold than expected, which is actually a good thing in my opinion. I prefer fewer homes to be sold. I want housing prices to go down. I would rather we not have a ton of new buying and selling with houses. I would actually like to get into the housing market potentially sometime in 2022. So I would like if housing prices started moving down. And we've also got crude oil inventories, which I'm also hoping are actually, well, I would like them to be higher than expected. Unfortunately, it looks like we haven't gotten the numbers yet. So we've still got the December 15th numbers. When is this coming out? I think it's coming out at 10. Oh, it's 10:30 that this is coming out. So we've got to wait for that. But, all right, that's the only one that hasn't come out yet. So crude oil inventories at 10:30. We're going to see what happens with the crude oil inventories. Hopefully, we'll see that going up a little bit. I would like to see more oil inventories. So hopefully we'll get some additional oil in our stockpiles and oil prices can go down. That would be the hope. It looks like we've got some big buys on Sundial, 1.6 million shares that minute, pushing us up above 63 cents. So good to see. And we're just barely below where we need to be continuing this uptrend. So hopefully it'll happen. We're up 1.23% on Sundial at the moment. Things are looking pretty darn good. And taking a look at the poll, we've got 123 votes in this poll. 39% of people are thinking Sundial will be the top performing stock. 13% say DWAC will be the top performing stock. 20% say NAKD will be the top performing stock. And 27% think AMC will be the top performing stock. So we'll see what happens. And Demario TV says, can you look at this stock, PXS? We'll take a peek at PXS real quick. So Pixis Tankers Inc. So it looks like it's a cheap one. It's a penny stock, down below $1. And it once again following a very similar pattern to what we've seen with all of these low market cap stocks. It was up big come January and February, and now it's down big. I think we could see a lot of these turning around. I think a lot of these have gotten oversold. I don't know anything about Pixis Tankers, but I think a lot of these low market cap stocks have been massively oversold. Sundial, NAKD is one of them also. I think a lot of them have been oversold towards the end of this year. I think a lot of people were tax loss harvesting. That's potentially why we saw this big dip towards the end. A lot of people also were just selling them throughout the year. They were slowly trending down. They were pretty stagnant, some of them. I think that we could see these coming back in 2022. Maybe not to the highs that we saw in 2021, not all of them, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with PXS. I don't know anything about it, but I think that just based off of the fact that it's following the same pattern that pretty much all of these stocks it'll probably continue that pattern. If we start seeing these lower float, lower market cap stocks moving up come the beginning of 2022, I think it will follow them. So I would expect, if I had to guess, I would guess that we would see some of the higher market cap stocks, some of the big stocks, some of the big tech stocks that people are up big on over the course of the year. I mean, if you look at stuff like Apple, we'll take a peek at Apple. Apple's just been killing it in 2021. It wouldn't surprise me if some people wanted to sell Apple in 2022, near the beginning of 2022. Some people might want to sell Apple because, not just Apple, but Microsoft. Because these people are up massively on these big tech stocks, and they've been doing incredibly well in 2021. They don't want to sell them right now at the very end of the year, because then they're going to have to pay taxes when that bill comes due in just a couple of months. They'd much rather wait 10 days and sell those stocks and then not have to pay taxes for a whole year. So I think that a lot of these big stocks, let's look at Facebook too. Facebook's been doing pretty good. It's still up massively since the beginning of the year. Facebook's been up big. Microsoft, I don't think Twitter is, but what else? What are the other big ones? Amazon or Google? Google's up big. Google's almost doubled. I mean, it's crazy what some of these larger market cap stocks have done. I think some people might be selling them. We might see a buying opportunity for some of these come early 2022. It's not a guarantee. It's a hope. I would like to see a buying opportunity on some of those, and potentially a bit of a rotation into some of the smaller market caps. We might see stocks like PXS and Sundial and NAKD and even AMC starting to move up towards the end or towards the beginning of 2022. I think we could see it. As people are looking to get into those positions, they're maybe rotating out of some of the larger market caps that have done incredibly well in 2021. They might be looking to accrue some positions in these smaller market caps that have just been getting beaten down over the past year. I mean, if you look at this, these things were way higher than where they currently are. They're near all-time lows for the year. I think that we're entering at a really good time into 2022 on their charts for people to take a long position on them. So. And Worlza asks, what do you think about Hood? Is it cheap or can it fall more? So looking at Robinhood, I do actually have a position in Robinhood. It's not a stock position. I've sold options on it because I realize that though it looks very cheap, it could potentially fall more. So what my position is I sold $20 put contracts for about a $6-something premium. So my break even on Hood, if by 2023 it is below $20, I'll be taking shares of Hood. If it's above $20, I'll get my max profit. So I expect we'll probably be above $20 with Hood by 2023. I think it could be doing good over the course of 2022. It is a very easy-to-use brokerage, a very popular brokerage. But with Hood, I think that what we'll probably see is maybe a continuation. I think it could follow the small market caps, even though it's not necessarily that small of a market cap. I think we'll probably see a good 2022 for it. There's no guarantees, right? My break even on it is like $13.50 or something like that. So it still has a ways to go before I'm just breaking even on it, before I'm even losing any money. So I don't think it's going below $13 on Hood. So I'm not worried about losing money on this trade. That's why I entered the position that I did. I'll show you. I sold the 2023 $20 put option. So I'm down a little bit of money on them currently if I wanted to just buy them back and close the position. But a lot of this is time value that they have on as the premium, right? So the time value will dissipate over the course of the next year and become only the intrinsic value, which currently sits at about $1.83. So I'll end up making money even if HUD just stays stagnant. If it didn't move a cent in either direction, up or down, I would still be making a decent profit on that HUD trade. Even if it just stayed at $18, I would make a decent profit on it. So I'm not worried about HUD. Could it go down more? It could. Will it? It might. Do I think it will? Probably not. I don't think it's going down too much more. I mean, it's gotten really darn cheap. Cathie Wood's buying it up big. I think that we've probably gotten about as low as is reasonable on HUD, and that's not to say it couldn't drop more. It could. But that would just make it a better buying opportunity over the long term, I think. A lot of these stocks have gotten hurt. I think a lot of people are probably tax loss harvesting on HUD. There's definitely a lot of tax loss harvesting to go around. I mean, it IPO'd at $38 and then shot up to $85, and you saw massive volume when it was up there. A lot of people are down big on HUD, and it does not help that it's been making all-time lows in December, right as people are thinking about tax loss harvesting. So, we've only got 10 days of that left. Some people are potentially, over the course of the next 30 days, going to think about re-entering HUD, right? After that 30-day wash sale rule expires, some people might re-enter HUD. That's a suspicion I've got. So I'm happy to be in the position that I'm at with it. I might even consider selling another put contract on it. I might do that now even. It actually looks pretty good. In fact, maybe I will do that. It's looking pretty darn cheap, and those put contracts are pretty juicy. So let's see. Where's my HUD put contract? I'll probably sell another one. So sell one for 7.65, because I do like HUD, and I wouldn't mind taking a couple hundred shares of HUD under my belt if it did end up expiring in the money. I think HUD's going to be a good one over the long term. So there we go. So I put in the order. We'll see if it ends up executing. It might not, though. The spread is somewhat large on those. And Amy Spar, thank you for the super chat. And you've said RAAS and BJDX have similarities to PROG when it was trading under $1. What do you think of these stocks? So we'll take a look at RAAS. So Klupin Group Holding. All right, we'll pull up the market summary on these just so we know what the heck they actually do. Because I've heard of RAAS before, but I've never looked into it before. So let's see. So RAAS, Klupin Group Holding, provides cloud-based communication solutions. It offers covering communications platform as service, CPaaS, cloud-based contact centers, and cloud-based unified communications and collaborations. The company provides services to all sizes of industries, including internet, telecommunications, financial services, education, industrial manufacturing, and energy. Okay, so cloud-based communication solutions. I think, because I game every now and then, I think that because I've looked into this more than most potentially, and I think it's just a trend that you can see over the long term as well. Not in the stock price, obviously, it's done horribly stock price wise, but I think that a trend that we're going to see is cloud-based is the way things are moving. I don't think people want to have their data localized on a hard drive that can become corrupted and you could lose it, or you can't access it. If you go on vacation and you can't access your files from your phone or whatever. I think that now that we're getting much better internet capabilities, people are moving to cloud-based stuff. That's where I keep my pictures and all my important stuff. I keep it on the cloud because it's just a lot more, not necessarily secure, right? There is always the risk of hacking, but it's a lot more convenient. And I think that cloud-based service providers like RAAS could definitely be doing good over the long term. Over the short term, who's to say? I'll take a peek at the short interest on RAAS in a second. But I think that this is definitely more of a company of the future play. Obviously, when these companies IPO for the first time, they typically, if they're ahead of their time, if they're very futuristic companies, they typically don't do too great. And you saw that happen, right? They might start at a very high valuation, and then maybe they even start at a low valuation and they pump up on hype for the industry, but I don't think we're quite there with cloud-based communication services yet. Like if you've ever heard of Google Stadia, that's going to be basically a gaming platform that you plug into your computer, and you don't need to download games, you don't need to do anything, you just stream games from Google servers. So if they're doing something that helps enable that, then I think they could be doing pretty good if they help with that kind of cloud-based stuff. So over the long term, I could see them doing decently. I could see them doing very well, in fact, because I think that's just the overall direction that things are going to move in. I don't think that companies want to give out their intellectual property, right? Companies who are making games don't want to give out the code to those games because then people crack those games and they put them on torrenting websites and sell them for free. Or not sell them for free, but they give them away for free. And if the company just streams those games to you, similar to what Netflix does, where Netflix just streams movies to you, well, they're never actually giving you the code. You can't pirate it because you don't have the code. All you're doing is watching a video of the gameplay, basically, and sending inputs back to Google servers. And if RAAS can help enable that, or any kind of similar thing in a different industry, I think they could be doing pretty darn good in the future. Now, BJDX, I will also pull up the short interest on RAAS. It looks like it doesn't have too many shorts in it. It's only 2.86% of the free float, or 2.66 million shares. Obviously, there are some. 89% of the shares available to short have been short, but overall, not the highest amount. It looks like shorts have just been in this because it's a small cap, as they've been in all small caps. Shorts, like these small caps, over the course of 2021, these have been pushed down massively. So once again, if it's a small cap, it could be doing pretty good in 2022. Let's take a quick peek. This is an interesting one, actually. $500 million market cap. Wouldn't surprise me to see it doing good in 2022 or in following years, right? It seems more like a futuristic company that might take a little bit of time to really come to fruition, but we'll see. And BJDX, Blue Jay Diagnostics. So let's see what these have to do with, let's see what this company does. BJDX, Blue Jay Diagnostics, trading for $3 per share. And let's see, once this loads, we'll see what the company profile says. No market cap available. It might be a very small market cap stock. Huh. So BJDX. Let's see. They have 6 employees, and they were founded in 2015. Let's pull up their website because we can't find any other information on them, but okay, so here's their website. That's the only way we're going to find out about them. But Symphony, Blue Jay Diagnostics is pleased to present Symphony, a near patient biomarker detection platform. Symphony aims to help improve healthcare outcomes by providing quantitative clinical chemistry results vital for triage and acute care. So, okay, looks like a pharmaceutical stock. And these all trade kind of similarly, right? They're basically either in somewhat downtrendy or sideways trending patterns for the most part until they start talking about a couple of things. One, a new contract being signed or FDA approval. And typically when that happens, let's see if they've had any of that come out. It doesn't look up. No, it doesn't look like anything for Blue Jay at the moment. But when they do start seeing that kind of news, they typically start trending up. And if that news is positive when it actually gets released, they typically pop quite a bit. So this could be a big popper. There's no doubt about that if it's in the pharmaceutical industry, but there's no guarantee with it. I'm typically not the biggest fan of pharmaceutical companies just because they seem a little random. You never know for sure if they're going to do incredibly well or if they're going to not do great. But that's just because I don't know enough about the pharmaceutical industry to say which studies they're operating are actually going to come to fruition. Let's see if they've got any short interest. That is interesting. So let's see. It doesn't have any data for them, but we'll pull it up still. No short interest change data. It looks like they're too small of a market cap. And let me pull up BJDX real quick. BJDX, it looks like $58 million market cap. So yeah, really small company. Like I said, only 6 employees. I liked RAAS more. That seemed like more of an industry that I could really get behind. This, I mean, there's a million pharmaceutical companies doing stuff. I'm not sure exactly what they're up to, but I'm not as bullish on them. They could do good, though. They could do good. But it's beyond, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what they're working on or how to make sense of it. So I tend to stay away from the pharmaceutical companies. Okay, so Carl and Maggie Do you have any videos out on puts? I understand writing calls, but my brain doesn't comprehend puts. Well, I really like puts, so I will explain this live. I don't have any videos, I don't think, out explaining exactly how they work, at least not in a good way. But basically, what a put contract is when you buy a put contract, and let's use HUD as an example. When you buy a put contract, you're essentially gaining the right to sell shares of HUD, or whatever stock you're buying the contract for. So you're essentially saying, if you buy a $20 put contract, you're saying, I want to be able to sell this stock for $20. And so you want the stock actually to drop below that price, because then you can sell the stock for more than what it's worth. So if HUD drops down to $1 and you have a bunch of put contracts, a net positive position on them, right? If you own put contracts, you haven't sold them, if you own them, then you can sell a $1 stock for 20 bucks. So that's why you would buy put contracts, and you can make some money off of that because you're paying a smaller premium, right? HUD isn't the best example because these contracts are very far out. But let's look at a closer strike date, right? Let's say you sold, or let's say you bought these $20 strike price put contracts for about $3 on HUD. So you pay $3, and then HUD drops down to $10. Well, now you can sell HUD for 20, and you only paid 3 for the right to do it. So you can essentially buy a put at 10, sell it at 20, and you're doubling your money that way, minus the premium. So you lose the premium, right? Because you paid the premium to the guy that you bought the contract from. Whoever sold that contract gets to keep that premium no matter what. But you essentially get to sell the stock for more than it's worth. That's why you're buying put contracts. Now, what I like to do is sell put contracts for stocks that are for out of the money strike prices. So, say I wanted to get into Robinhood, which I actually did this. This is an actual trade that I took. So I'll show you the exact example. What I did a couple weeks ago, HUD was trading above $20, and I said, hey, I wouldn't mind paying $20 per share of HUD stock. So what I did was I sold $20 put contracts on HUD, $20 strike price put contracts, and I sold them for a premium of $6 or $7. So I collected $6 per share of HUD for the obligation. If someone wants to sell me HUD at $20, I have to buy it for $20, but I don't mind doing that. Now, the upside for me is I get paid $6 regardless of whether or not I have to buy the HUD or not. So either way, HUD either ends above $20, and all that happens is I get to keep the $6 premium, or HUD moves below $20 and I have to pay $20 per share, but I also keep the $6 premium, essentially making my entrance price $14 because they're paying me $6 to buy HUD for $20 per share. They're hoping it drops way below. They're hoping it drops below 14. If they want to make money, HUD has to drop below 14. But essentially, over the course of the next year, if HUD goes to $14 per share, I've broken even on that trade. I haven't made money. I haven't lost money. So that's how put contracts work. Hopefully, that explained it somewhat decently. Hopefully. But I really like put contracts for that reason. And Sundial is moving up, it looks like. Sundial, it looks like we just made new highs on this uptrend. So amazing stuff. Following a similar trend that we've seen over the past couple of days, we typically see Sundial running in the AM, and then as we get to the end of the day, we start to see it stagnate a little bit and continue, maybe even drop a little bit during the pre-market, and then continue running up the next day. So unsurprising to see that pattern continue. I'm happy to see it. It looks like Sundial is doing pretty good. Continuing this uptrend, we're finally starting to see some green in the markets. I know we've been waiting for it a long time. It looks like this December bloodfest is finally over. I mean, talk about pain. The markets have been nothing but red for these small cap stocks for months and months and months. And I think that we're finally going to get rewarded in 2022. I think we're finally going to start to see a whole lot of green now that this tax loss harvesting is over. Now that people may want to start taking profits on those large cap stocks that have been running up massively to extremely high valuations. I think we're probably going to see some big gains in 2022 for these small caps that we have been sticking with for a long time. And Carl and Maggie, thank you very much for the super chat. Hopefully it was a good explanation. I might release a video at some point in the future just doing a tutorial on options because they are really complicated. And I remember when I first heard about options, I could not wrap my head around them, and there weren't really any great options tutorials out there. But I'll potentially make one. It's really tough to make a tutorial. You've got to write out a script and everything if you really want it to be perfect. So I may do that in the future. We'll see, but I appreciate the super chat. And Vivi, good morning. It looks like you're a little bit late to the stream, Vivi. Vivi says, like the stream. We actually just got up to 100 likes on the stream. So if anyone else wants to pass some likes in the stream's direction, that would be much appreciated. And I will point something out real quick. If anyone wants some extra moolah, if anyone wants some extra money, something you can do, if anyone wants extra capital to trade with or anything like that, something you can do is go down to the description of the stream. I've got to do it, guys. You can go down to the description. Here's the stream right here. You see the chat live. But you can go down to the description of the stream, and it also helps me out. So want to support me, use these referral links, and we both get free stocks. So today's actually the last day to do it with Weeble. You get an incredible deal if you click on this get up to $2,300 with Weeble link. If you click that link, you get brought to this page where you get 5 free stocks when you open it and fund a new account. These stocks can be good. Typically, they're like maybe $4 or $5 worth of stock each share. So you end up getting like $20 from it at the worst case scenario. But you could get a stock like Google, Facebook, Starbucks, Snapchat. These companies are all trading for quite high valuations, very high share prices. So you could get some good stocks. So if you guys haven't opened up a Weeble account, make sure to go down to the description of this stream. Open up the Weeble because this offer ends December 23rd. Today is December 22nd. It's the last day to do it. You can get 5 free stocks. It's not up to 5. You get 5 free stocks when you open and put $1 in the Weeble account. So feel free to do that if you guys haven't done it already. I love Weeble. I have a decent amount of money on there at this point thanks to the referrals, but it lets you buy stocks pre-IPO. It lets you buy cryptos. That's where I bought SHIB and like 5x my money on SHIB. So you can do a lot on Weeble. Highly recommended. Not financial advice, not a financial recommendation, but just if you want free money, you may as well do it. It's a great deal. And then if you want a free $50, the second link, get a free $50 with M1 Finance. You click that, really good buy and hold brokerage. All you have to do is click that link and sign up, make your account there, and then you can download the app and sign into it and all that. It's a really good brokerage that I use for all my long-term buys because you can essentially just make these little pies, basically your own little ETFs, and then invest into fractional shares and all that. So it's very, very convenient. We've also got Public and Robinhood. If you guys don't have those already, they're pretty good. Public doesn't do payment for order flow like Robinhood does. So maybe you want to do that. You can get up to $70 with Public and up to $500 with Robinhood if you guys want. That was my quick plug of these brokerage accounts. If you guys are interested, we've got the stream, the stuff linked in the stream's description. If you guys are interested. Now, let me show you guys real quick something pretty darn cool, I think. I don't know how many of you have subscribed yet, but we've got about 138 viewers. I know I'm just doing plug after plug, but I will pull up the subscriber count on the channel. It's pretty cool. If anyone wants to see this number go up, we're at 8,582 subscribers. If anyone wants to see this number literally increase live on stream, all they have to do is click the subscribe button right now, and we'll watch it go up live. We did this earlier. It's entertaining, at least. You get to see your own subscriber count go up. When you click the subscribe button, you'll see this increase by 1. So if someone does this in the next second or two, there we go. Someone just did it, 8,583. So if anyone else wants to do it, you can watch it increase live. We'll only keep it up for another second or two. So you got to do it quick if you want to see it up there. But there we go. We got someone at least. So good to see. We got somebody. That's the end of the plugs. Now we'll get back to the important stuff. So we don't know how much longer we'll actually be doing this stream. Typically, we end at around 10:30. We'll stay for a little bit longer today. We did say we would stay a little bit longer because today is the last day of the stream until after Christmas. I'll be going away after today. I'll be going off to the beach to visit Grandma and see my mom and aunt and sister. So we'll be hanging with the fam for Christmas. I'll be out of town. Won't be doing the streams or releasing any videos until probably Tuesday next week. So So there we go. This is going to be the last day of the stream, so Merry Christmas in case anyone has to head out early. Hopefully y'all will have a good one. I know I will. I'm certainly looking forward to Christmas. I've got some good gifts for people, so we'll see. And Falls Exiles shedding his clothes. I'm not sure what that has to do with any of this, but we'll pull up DWAC real quick. So it looks like DWAC, for those of you who are curious, made new highs over the course of the past 2 days, up to 52. It keeps seeing significant volume pumping up on that and then getting beaten back down, but it does look like we're moving up ever so slightly, so good to see. Good to see. And Maria G, goodbye. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Have a good one. I know we've probably got some people heading out at 10:30. That's typically when the stream ends. We'll stay a little bit longer today. It is an exciting day after all. NAKD just went through with the merger with Centro. Sundial's moving up, and it is the last day of the stream. So, for a couple of days at least. So, 8-Bolt Racing, have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, Rob. You too, man. You too, man. And Sam says, does Weeble instantly fund your account when you sell a stock? I currently have to wait 2 to 3 days for my funds to clear. Yeah, Weeble offers you, access to those accounts that instantly fund, the margin accounts. Yes, it does. All you have to do is, it takes like an extra minute or two to activate on Weeble, I think. And then you can do it. So, yeah, if you want, Weeble's a good one, definitely. How much money you need to open an account on Weeble? $1. Or $0 actually. They will give you a free stock if all you do is open an account. You don't need to deposit any money. They'll give you a free stock. But if you deposit $1, then you get extra free stocks. So only $1 on Weeble. Maybe even a penny. It might even be a penny. There might be no limit to how little you can deposit, but I think it's $1. So highly recommended. If you want those 5 free stocks, it's the best Christmas bonus I've ever seen on a brokerage account deal. 5 free stocks is absolutely insane. I don't know how they're affording it or staying in business. It's a little scary, honestly. But do I have an Oculus, asks Falls. Yes, I do. I have an Oculus Quest 2. I like it. I haven't used it lately, but it's fun. It's nice. I haven't used it lately, though. But it is cool. So let's get back, though, to the stocks. I've been plugging myself and talking about other things for a long time. It looks like AMC is dipping a little bit. I don't know how many of you guys are interested in AMC, but it is on a little bit of a dip, which I am not disappointed to see. I'm actually excited that AMC is dipping. It makes it a better buying opportunity. I'd like to see it down below 25 to really get in. And do you need to pay Weeble monthly? No monthly fees. They don't take any money from you, Vivi. They take nothing. They give you money. So it's free stocks if you open an account, no fees associated with them that I'm aware. I've never paid a fee to them. And I've had them for a long time, over a year, I think I've had them for. So yeah, no fees or anything like that. Nothing to worry about. AMC, though. Look at AMC dipping and Sundial ripping. So Sundial's up 1.92%. Let's see what the other cannabis stocks are doing. TLRY is barely at break even, right? They just barely moved up enough to be in the green for the day, up 0.13%. So good to see TLRY doing decently. And NAKD is starting to recover from this dip. It looks like where they opened for the market acted around as a little bit of support, maybe 585, 590 is acting as some support. And Worlza, I did bad, Rob. Just sold all my AMC for Sundial. Just now? Did you just now do that? Because I mean, it's tough to say. I think Sundial could be doing pretty darn good, but we might see AMC moving lower. Maybe you could get back into it later if you want, potentially for cheaper. And Abstract says Moomoo does the same type of deal as Weeble when signing up. Yeah, I've heard of Moomoo. I don't have an account with them. I might look into opening one. We'll see. I know they're up and coming, but I think you might have to pay commissions on Moomoo. I haven't looked at that for sure yet, but you might. But they are up and coming, I've heard. 30 minutes ago. Wow. So look at that. 30 minutes ago at 10. So it looks like not bad, though. Not bad, because from what you've said, if you did it at 10, then Sundial's only moved up and AMC's moved down. So you're up on that, actually. So that not bad, Worlza. Not bad at all. It looks like Sundial is, I think Sundial's probably going to outperform AMC percentage-wise in 2022. I think we're probably going to see a little bit more on Sundial just because we've got cannabis legalization probably in the pipeline. So I think that, it's going to be tough to beat that, right? We've got a short squeeze on Sundial and cannabis legalization, as well as, they've got a share buyback. They've got the merger with Alcana. I think there's a lot going for Sundial. I'm not as well versed in AMC. Potentially there's a lot going for it other than the short squeeze with AMC also that I'm not as well versed. So I'll look into it. But, AMC, I think a lot of people are hoping for that short squeeze, and we're going to have to get pretty high to squeeze out the shorts, is what I'm seeing. We're going to have to get up probably above the previous highs, above $72. So we're going to need to see another type of catalyst come in. We're going to need to see some additional buying power, some more volume, some more pressure coming in for AMC stock, and I'm not sure exactly where we're going to get it. We're probably going to have to maybe revitalize the meme stock investing community. We're going to need to get them pouring some more money into AMC. I think it really helped out that we had stimulus checks coming out right before AMC stock rally. A lot of people probably had more savings than usual, so we'll see. And Abstract says, I don't use Moomoo, but I've heard about it from some of the finance channels. Yeah, I've heard about it too. So we'll see. Maybe I'll open up a Moomoo account and try it out. I have 6 brokerage accounts, so it's getting a little complex. I'm sure it's going to be horrible during tax time. And Sam says, I heard that the order by distribution indicator in Weeble is useful. Is that true? I'm not sure. I really don't use Weeble for trading too much. I just use it for the most part to buy over the long term, right? It's basically where my referral stocks come in. And then I buy over the long term with those. So I'm not seeing much of a gap. So Brazil AA says there is a big gap at 59 cents on Sundial. What do you think? I don't see much of a gap at 59 cents. Here's 59 cents. It looks like, oh, well, I see what you're saying, right? Here to here? Yeah, see, I don't really count that as a gap. The day before we were trading at those levels, I don't really count it. You could say the same thing about there being a gap. If that was the case right here to here from 56 to 57, you could say there was a gap, technically. Well, maybe not. There is technically a little gap. That's too small of a thing. I'm not too worried about that. It's I think we're moving up on Sundial. Maybe we'll get to 59 cents. It's not guaranteed that we won't, but I'm not too worried about a 59 cent dot on Sundial. I'm not too worried about it. And JL, good morning, broadcasting from Tennessee. Nice. And Abstract says, I want to see Sundial pump like GameStop did in January. Me too. I think that could really happen because we did see a big Sundial pump around the same time that GameStop was pumping. Sundial was a meme stock. People were calling for it to get to $4.20. We'll see what people start calling for it to get to next time. I think it could be a lot higher. They might be calling for $42. I'm not sure if we'll get to 42, but I could see people calling for that, especially now that we're seeing some more catalysts coming in. We're seeing the share buybacks. They're going to be decreasing the float by a little bit. And I think that we'll probably see some people with renewed vigor after this big sell-off in all these small market cap stocks. Potentially some people from GameStop and AMC who have made some money will be wanting to get into Sundial. We'll see about that. Because Sundial, back when it pumped the last time, attention was split between a lot of these stocks. A lot of people were in Dogecoin at the time. A lot of people were in GameStop, AMC, of course. And a lot of other meme stocks like BlackBerry and Nokia, a lot of people were in. So Sundial was not the main focus of that pump. And if we could get a cannabis-based pump, I could see a lot of people pumping a lot of money into Sundial. It would be very interesting to see. I'm really looking forward to 2022. I think that we're starting to see the beginning of it. We're starting to go a little green with these stocks. I'm getting very excited for 2022 and the things that are likely to come with it. So we're already seeing these small market caps moving up. It's just looking greener and greener and better. The catalysts are finally starting to play out. We're finally starting to see some green in the markets at last. We've been waiting a very long time if you look back over the past year. Basically, not since early February have these stocks been doing very well. There have been a couple of little rallies on Sundial, but not too much. Same story for all of the cannabis stocks. So I'm pretty darn bullish on Sundial. I've been holding for a long time. I'm ready for that to turn into, it's already a green position, but I'm ready for it to become an even greener position. So we'll see what happens with Sundial. We'll see what happens with a lot of the other stocks, some of the big market cap stocks. Like I was saying earlier, we could see a little bit of pain for those larger market cap stocks. It wouldn't surprise me to see potentially stocks like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook selling off a little bit because they've been doing incredibly well over the past year. It wouldn't surprise me to see some of those stocks moving down a little bit in early 2022 as people are selling them for a massive gain. They don't want to do it right now. They're probably waiting until the beginning of the year to do it because they don't want to pay taxes on those gains until 2023, right? They don't want to pay taxes for a year after they sell the stock. They'd rather wait 10 days than sell it right now. So BNGL asks about NAKD. It looks like NAKD has stagnated a little bit. That's good that it's finding some support just under $6. I think we could get above $6 personally. I think that over the long term, I think we'll be going much above $6 as they start doing more of their earnings calls. I think that'll be really good for them. We'll probably see really good revenue growth at their earnings calls. That's what I'm expecting because they have revealed some of their expectations already. Let me pull this up. But they've already revealed some of their earnings expectations. First off, if you guys are new to the stream and haven't heard this statistic, that Centro, the company that merged with NAKD, has sold and delivered more commercial electric vehicles than any other EV company, then that's a pretty impressive one. They've sold and delivered quite a few EVs. Customers are estimated to have traveled more than 20 million miles in 26 different countries in Centro EVs. And Centro, here's really impressive stuff about their revenue. So Centro expects their 2021 revenue to be $25 million with over 1,500 vehicles sold. So we'll cover that statistic in just a second. But in 2022, they're expecting 21,000 vehicle sales. So they are expecting 21,000, so more than 10xing their vehicle sales. But they're expecting 506 million in revenue. So in 2021, they're expecting 25 million. Now they're expecting 506 next year. So they're 20xing their revenue numbers if they can maintain these expectations. And then in 2023, they're expecting 2.1 billion in revenue. So a 4x after that. So they are expecting some incredible stuff. And I think if they can stay in line with those expectations and potentially even beat out those expectations, we could be looking at really, really high valuations on Centro. Now, I said I was going to bring it back to the 1,500 vehicles sold in 2021. Look at this. Check out this story that just came out about a month ago. They received an order at the end of November for 2,000 vehicles. So more than they sold in all of 2021. More than they sold in all of 2021. They got an order for from Japan. So Japanese companies, these end customers, the end customer of these vehicles are going to include Amazon. So impressive stuff. Also, Hannah Cupid, which I forget what exactly they did. I looked into it in the past, but Amazon is the main one. So some of Centro's vehicles are going to Amazon's Japan division. So that's cool. They've already gotten 2,000 orders, which is more than they got in all of 2021, or at least more than they were expected to get. So I'm expecting really good stuff from NAKD and Centro. And Max Pierce asks, hey Rob, when will the earnings call for Centro happen? I'm not sure when the earnings call will happen. Let me see if I don't know if they've announced that yet. So let's see. So 2021, it does well, we can maybe extrapolate when it would be looking at the past year. No, we don't know when the earnings. I'm not sure when the earnings call is going to be. NAKD is Centro. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But I'm not sure when exactly the earnings call is going to be. And Slow Bowden, love you, bro. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And Penny Smith, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. Good morning, Rob. Hope you have a great Christmas. 2022 year of small caps. I think so. I think we're going to make a whole lot of money being in small caps in 2022. Obviously, nothing's a guarantee in the market, but it looks like the perfect pattern. I mean, January of last year, and February as well was incredible for small caps. And we didn't actually see a lot of the catalysts people were hoping for come to fruition. This year, I think we will. I think we'll see a lot regarding cannabis legalization and just the fact that small caps in general have been getting pushed down and down and down for months. Big caps are probably going to take a little bit of a breather, although, big caps, large caps, they always tend to do pretty well. Once you get to that level, you've got so much capital to throw at research and development and marketing, you end up doing pretty good regardless. I mean, Google, they're not going anywhere, right? They have so much control over the market at this point. They're probably going to be continuing to do incredibly well over the long term, but they might take a little bit of a breather, because if you look at some of these, let's pull up some of these real quick. Pull them up in the bottom left. Google. Let's see what we've done over the past year. They've almost doubled over the past year. So it seems to me like some people might want to take some profits in the beginning of 2022. They don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to pay taxes instantly, right? If they sell this stock now, then they owe taxes in a couple of months on it. In June, I believe, when tax day is. Or no, probably before June. I forget exactly when taxes come due. But if they wait 10 days, they don't owe taxes until 2023. So I think a lot of these stocks, I mean, we can look at Facebook also, which is up pretty big from where it was. We can look at Microsoft, which is up massively from where it was. It was down around 200. Now it's up around 320. We can look at Apple. All of these stocks have done incredibly well. I think people are going to wait until 2022 to start selling some of their positions. And I think that the small caps that have been getting pushed down and down are probably going to start running. We'll see, obviously. I mean, people will want to rotate their money somewhere. We'll see. Hopefully we can get it into the smaller caps like we've been hoping for. And Abstract has to head out. See you next week. Have a Merry Christmas. All right, Abstract. This is the last one. We'll see you on Tuesday probably is when we'll be doing it. Merry Christmas, man. Have a good one. And it's looking like it's 10:45. This is potentially the end of the stream also. So Abstract isn't going to be missing too much. It looks like we stuck around for a little bit longer, but I do actually have to start getting ready for the trip. I'm not sure what time I'm leaving exactly, but I've got some other stuff to take care of before I head out. I need to do some last-minute Christmas shopping too. So this is the end of the stream. We stayed an extra 15 minutes. It was a very exciting day. Centro merged with NAKD brand. Now they're called Cenntro. I'm sure TD Ameritrade will update the name on their platform pretty soon. Not the ticker symbol, but the name at least. And other than that, it looks like Sundial continuing its beautiful uptrend that we've been in for the past couple of days. I'm excited to see it. All the stocks are starting to recover a little bit. The S&P is up. It looks like we're seeing some really good stuff. I'm very hopeful for 2022. Obviously, I'll see you guys before then. I'll be back on Tuesday. No stream tomorrow. Probably no stream on Monday. We'll be missing some for Christmas break. But other than that, guys, Vivi asks, what is my PayPal account? PayPal. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. I can pull that up. I don't know if I really have a PayPal account. But I have the PayPal app. So you're offline, but not without options. Interesting. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know about PayPal, man. I don't really have a PayPal account. I should make one, but I'll make one at some point. So other than that, guys, have a good one. We'll see you Tuesday. Hopefully you'll have a Merry Christmas. You get a bunch of gifts. You give a bunch of gifts. And hopefully the markets don't crash right before Christmas tomorrow. That would be pretty sad if they did. But other than that, guys, have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. See you Tuesday. Bye.